Hi there, my name is Belinda Dovston and welcome to the I Ching Cafe and our weekly overview for the week commencing the 21st of December 2020. Last week we had shake-ups, shocks, surprises, unexpected creative energy helping us out of the mud, out of the bog, and just a reminder that we are indeed in a new phase, in a beginning where things are difficult. There are birthing pains we're going through as part of the week. So you no doubt had that experience of starting something new, putting in place your foundation, and really being asked to pay attention to the birthing pains of the new beginning, the new beginnings that are coming into our life at this time of year when usually we expect things to be wrapping up. So let me know how that was for you. What was the shock and the shake-up and the unexpected surprise that came into your life last week and shook you out of the bog or the mud? For me, this was a yes to a proposal that I had done, which suddenly went, oh, I got all these new things to put in place in order to meet the proposal. So that for me was a key win for the week in working with this shake-up energy. Right, so this week, the 21st of December, what is the I Ching asking us to pay attention to? And of course, that is the question we ask every time we do the weeklies or the monthlies. What do we need to focus on? Because really, in being able to focus on what's really important, to pay attention to what's really calling to us every week and every month is extremely powerful. So this week, our first hexagram, our first flow of change for the week is hexagram 17, following. And this is a very interesting hexagram all about learning how to go with the flow. This is like the Star of Bethlehem calling to the wise men, calling them to Bethlehem. And of course, right as we start off the week, the 21st, we have this beautiful conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter, which is called the Star of Bethlehem. So very, very apt for us right now to be talking about this idea of following the star. And this really is calling us to follow what's meaningful, to follow what's important, to listen to the voice that's calling us forward, and to put our energy around following the thing that is meaningful, the lodestar, the meaningful purpose, the meaningful thing that is calling us forward. I often talk with this hexagram the idea of leadership being very closely associated with this flow of change. And there are many hexagrams where being the leader and rallying people together and holding people together is the real forefront of the message. And in this hexagram, I always see it as this idea of servant leadership, that to lead is to serve. And in order to be a great leader, whether this is in your family, in your relationship, your business, your team, in order to be a great leader, you have to have something you follow, something that's meaningful to you. In a company, this might be the company purpose or the core values of the team or the organization. These might be your personal values, your personal belief system, the thing that is your guiding star, your lodestar that draws you forward. And in order to lead others, we have to have something meaningful that we are following. In order to create followers, good followers, we have to be a good follower. So the question then is, what are we following? What is the star that we are following, and what does that all mean? Now this week, we have 3 changing lines. And what's interesting about these three pockets of intense change wanting to get our attention, is they are the top 3 lines. I've spoken before how the bottom 3 lines, the bottom trigram as it's called, represents the inner, what's going on inside the situation, inside us, as we ask and work with the I Ching. And the top 3 lines, or the top trigram, represents the outer circumstances. So if we were to get these 3 lines on the bottom, what it would be indicating is the change, the place of change is happening inside and affecting the outer reality. Here what we're saying is the change is happening on the outside, affecting the inner reality. And it's just a way of thinking about where the locus of change is coming from, So let's see how this week goes. Where does this flow of change come from? So let's go through these 3 lines. So our first changing line in the 4th position talks about needing to put down ego. And in order to be a great follower and to build good followers, as I mentioned earlier, we need to be able to let go of ego. And this comes through two ways. One is, it can be wonderful to have a whole bunch of adoring fans, right? Who doesn't want a whole bunch of adoring fans? But why are they adoring and why are they there? Are they there for their own interest, or do they really hold a shared belief with what you're trying to do? Are they trying to make you feel like they're adoring, but actually they're in it for their own personal motives? And so we can get addicted to this mob around us and being adored, and that becomes a point of ego, right? We have to stay true. We have to be able to step out of that and say, I don't need that. I need to be true to this star that I am following. The other aspect of ego is my will, right? I want to do it this way. I want to move this forward, okay? And so in this week, as we start off the week, one of the things we're having to pay attention to is just step back from my will and come back to this idea of this hexagram, which is all about going with the flow, following that's something that's meaningful, that's drawing us forward. This is not, as we start the week, a time to force the issue, to push an agenda, to get aggressive with moving something forward. This is where we just open, we follow the signs, we follow the flow of events, and we trust that everything is connected to everything else, and that the thing that we're doing now is connected to the next thing that's connected to the next thing, and we can't possibly see how all these things are connected to each other, but they are. And this is what this hexagram as a whole says. We are connected to a positive flow of event that is all moving everything in the right direction to the right place. Just trust this process. So that's our first changing line. Our second changing line is, wow, the connection is made. The following has brought the right connection. Things line up. Your sacrifice and work to get to this point opens the door. Nothing can harm you, nothing can stop you. So wonderful line in the fifth position saying, what a celebration of the connection and of the following, the moment of connection between you, your purpose, your followers, and how you all tie together. And then our last changing line in the sixth position talks about whether you like it or not, you are firmly tied and connected to the thing that you follow. There's a tightness, there's a connection. It's almost like you are wrapped up together in this thing and it's connected, right? There's nothing that you can do to break this bond, and it is pulling you forward. So there's something that perhaps you've said yes to, that you're involved in, that has come into your life, perhaps a relationship, a project, a client, a new way of living, where you are now bound fast. Okay, you are part of this thing, you are connected to it, and you are moving forward. A really wonderful line, except if you like playing life lightly and not having any commitments and wanting to flit from thing to thing. This changing line brings the challenge of you're locked in. Now let's go. Okay, so our outcome hexagram, our second flow of change for this week is hexagram 27, nourishment. So nourishment as a hexagram is the open mouth of a bird. We have the top line, the bottom line representing a jaw, the top jaw, bottom jaw, big open mouth like a hungry bird waiting for its food from its mommy, and talks about how we get nourished and how we nourish others. So part of this week and part of the outcome of this flow of change, of the following and the connection and all these wonderful things coming into play, is that we receive nourishment. So on one hand, we receive nourishment, the thing that we're needing. Perhaps this is a bonus check for you, the nourishment of financial substance. Maybe this is an unexpected windfall, or this is time off, your holiday starts. Whatever this is, nourishment comes in. Part of this process is actively reaching out for self-care, because nourishment, at the end of the day, if we don't take responsibility for our own nourishment, no one is going to do it for us. When we leave the nest as a little bird and our parents are no longer putting us in cotton wool and caring for us, and we're kicked out the nest, we have to take responsibility for our own nourishment, our spiritual nourishment, mental nourishment, emotional nourishment, physical nourishment, you know what I mean. So part of this time is about actually doing some good quality self-care. And we know that this year has been hectic enough that we could take a whole year of nourishment just to try and work out what on earth actually happened. So this week, self-care and nourishment. But more than that, what is the deeper lesson of nourishment? How we nourish ourselves and how we nourish others. If we are in a leadership position, if you are in a business, you're a leader, think about how could you nourish your team, the people around you. What do they really need from you? Do they need a whole pile of money thrown at them, or do they just need an emotional connection from you? What is the nourishment that the people around you need? And how can you be a leader in stepping into supporting them with that nourishment? One thing that always sticks in my mind related to this particular hexagram is this idea that it's not as important what you put into your mouth as what comes out of it. And I'm sure you all had an experience, one particular one I'm referencing here, where I had a conversation with someone who was extremely health conscious, extremely focused on environmentally friendly products, the best organic food, quality, and that's really amazing. Healthy, low carb, really good, healthy lifestyle. And that's fantastic. But the problem is, what came out the person's mouth was the stream of angry bitterness. Okay. And so for me, what we have to do at this time of the year, particularly as we're all tired and we're all a bit fragile and we're all trying to kind of deal with a lot of issues thrown at us, is how we nourish ourselves and others through our words is as important as the nourishment we take in. So there's no point in being hardcore health and fitness obsessed when what comes out your mouth, out your awareness, out of your thinking is just bitterness and anger and vitriol. So that's what I want us to think about, is think about nourishment, what comes out and what goes in. Okay. And which one is more important for you this week? Very interesting. Right. So it is the 21st of December and we have a big week coming up. We have the Star of Bethlehem. Please go out and have a look at the magnificence of these two huge planets lining up and creating a wonderful extravaganza in the sky. And I'd encourage you also, last few days of the month, just a reminder to go and check out December's overview if you haven't done so. And of course, there's a week left to complete the December giveaway. Yes, those are still happening. Put in your question you'd like to submit and let's see if you are the lucky winner for December. Right, so hopefully you subscribed, you tuned in. There's a whole pile of stuff coming out on the channel over the next few weeks. We have obviously January's overview coming out. We have looking back at 2020 and looking forward to 2021, a special episode to set our sights on the new year. We have our weekly episodes will continue. We have our tutorials coming out. So lots happening on the channel, and I really would encourage you to engage and like and share. It makes a huge difference to reaching more people and really working together as a community to learn how we can master the flow of change together. Thank you so much, as always, for being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you soon.